What's up, everybody? We're at the Siggraph 2018 show floor, and I'm sitting down here right now with Ty from Pixel Plow. That name again is Pixel Plow. And for those who haven't heard of your service before, tell everybody what it is.
Sure. Pixel Plow is an online render farm service, and the goal of our service is to make it easier for the freelancer or the small to medium-sized studio to be able to take on bigger projects that are bigger than they have render capacity in their own facilities or their homes, possibly. We have a lot of freelancers that use our service, and they do big work and they do really cool stuff, but they just couldn't take that on without having a lot of compute power behind them. So that's what we provide.
So you do CPU as well as GPU, right?
Yeah, CPU rendering and GPU rendering. We have two farms, and we support quite a bit of stuff on the GPU side. ProRender, Redshift, Cycles 4D, that kind of stuff. Love to support Octane someday, maybe.
Someday. And talk about Houdini, your newest addition.
Yeah, we just released a beta agent that has support for the latest version of Houdini. It's the full Houdini build, so from my understanding, the kind of the indie Houdini build, or if you have a full commercial license of Houdini, you can create your scene files there and submit it to us, and we'll do the rendering. We are also going to be working on the ability to do simulation caching, so you should be able to send your Houdini scene file to us and have it either just generate the simulation cache and send it back, or generate the sim cache, then render it and send the rendered results back. So we're working on that too.
I bet a lot of Houdini people are really excited to hear that. So besides that, you were just telling me about something else new that you're working on as well.
Yeah, a few months ago, actually, we released the third major version of our agent, and we call it the Corral agent. Corral is a farm-side file caching mechanism. So what it does is it basically allows all of the job data that gets submitted by the customer goes up to the farm, and everything is checksummed, so that when another customer submits the exact same file, that file doesn't get re-uploaded again. So if you upload a job and you upload maybe 200 gigabytes worth of files, and it's a huge job, and maybe the job produces errors because you forgot to make a settings change in a scene file or something, or the output wasn't quite what you expected, and you need to re-render it, you don't have to upload that 200 gigabytes of data again. Only the changed files get detected by the agent and uploaded, which has been a tremendous time saver with bandwidth. Plus, as well, if you use maybe a common set of texture files, like maybe you use some of the HDRIs from Grayscale Gorilla or something, those files get uploaded once by one person, and then anyone else who references that exact same file, they don't have to upload the file again. So it's all farm-side caching. It's all fully automatic. You don't have to do anything in the agent to get it to work. It just does that by default. So we're trying to, it's all part of the plan to try to reduce the amount of time that it takes to get the job on the farm, get it rendered, and get the outputs back to the customer computer.
So a lot of people at the Maxon booth were asking me about render farms, and of course I was sending them your way. And they were asking me, what's the best way to go about putting my project into the queue, make sure I'm paying as little amount of money as possible, because people aren't necessarily in a rush to get their renders. So explain the difference and explain the best way to go about doing that with your service.
Sure. So our service is maybe a little bit different than some of the other render farm services out there. We have what we call the power level, and really all that is it's a 24 setting slider that gives you, the customer, the ability to control how many nodes are exposed to your job while it's running. And that's whether it's a CPU node or a GPU node. Same power slider settings there. Obviously, lower power means we expose the job to fewer nodes. Higher power, we expose it to more. You pay more for higher power, you pay less for lower power. So that's fairly self-explanatory, we hope. You pay more for more. But then we have a few tools that go beyond that. A lot of, especially first-time users, may not necessarily know how much it's going to cost to render their job. We advise and recommend that they start with a very low power setting. It's like just simple jobs at a very low power setting till you get used to it. Then as you start to kind of, feel your oats a little bit, then you're going to start, okay, well, let's crank this thing up and see what it does. Well, you might want to hold off a little bit or make use of one of our other features, like the budget feature. You can type in a whole dollar amount, say like, hey, I don't want to spend more than $20. And the farm will automatically suspend your job if it exceeds $20 worth of render time. And then if you cancel the job, you're only going to be charged that $20 amount. So it's a great way to guarantee that you don't have overages. Then on top of that, we have auto power, which is you specify a budget, and then you check auto power, and what it will do is the farm will automatically change the power level for you in order to, if it can, complete your job under the budget limit, but as fast as possible. So you type in 20 bucks, you click auto power, and it'll ramp up the power slider and then keep it at the right spot in order to finish the job quickly, but not exceed that $20.
That's great. That's great.
We have a lot of tools for managing the whole price versus performance aspect of the service, because that's really what people are interested in, right? I mean, they want to know how long is it going to take, how much is it going to cost.
Absolutely. All right, Ty Christensen, Pixel Plow, that name again. Actually, we call you Mr. Plow. What's your title, by the way?
Well, my title heretofore has been CEO and janitor, because there's always messes that have to be cleaned up. So I kind of prefer janitor, or maybe chief janitorial officer. I don't know.
I think that works. Yeah. All right, so live from the Siggraph floor, we're at the Pixel Plow booth. We've got a couple more interviews. We're getting pretty tired. Of course, that's why we're sitting. And so we'll catch you in the next interview.